Dimitris Skalkotos is an inspired marble sculptor who carves marble into words. He expresses what the written and spoken language is not able to communicate. We met Dimitris at his workshop where he talked about his work, inspiration and creativity.
Every time people ask me to speak about myself, always the same pictures come to my mind. Pictures from my birthplace, the village of Pyrgos in Tinos. Tinos is a place with long artistic history, since many painters and sculptors such as Kalepas and Gizis come from there. I strongly believe that when a child has such an exposure to art, it cannot be left unaffected. At some point in time, it will try to express it in some way. I think that this is where it all starts with me.
Κάτι τεχνικό μέσα πρέπει να βγάλει ένα στοιχείο, δεν μπορεί να μείνει ανυπηρέαστο. Δηλαδή κάπου.
Είναι υλικό το μάρμαρο. Έχει κάποιες υποτροφίες.
Marble is a very special material to work with, and as people say, you have to go with its flow. Marble actually has a flow-like form since it is composed of several layers, one on top of the other. So, the way to work with it is rather unique. I don't consider marble to be a cold material, as most people tend to think. Most of us relate marble to graves and tombs, but marble actually is a very warm material which can be used to form classical and modern pieces of art.
Μπορούν να είναι και κλασικά και σύγχρονα.
Right now, we are at the beginning of the procedure of forming this piece of marble. We have to smooth the edges according to the model. This was a big piece of marble, and before we begin the detailed work, we first have to remove some scrap material in order to give this piece specific dimensions. The place where I work is very important for me. As you can see, I'm working outside. It is difficult to work in a closed space due to dust. I also love the contact with nature. It is raining, you can smell the rain and feel the nature. I like that. When creating art, I have to be in a place that represents me. That is why I chose this place as my workshop instead of somewhere downtown. I use a traditional way of working with marble with hammer and chisel. I love the traditional way because while working I forget everything else. It is very difficult to say goodbye to my sculptures, and I always feel a gap inside me when this happens. I have 2 or 3 creations in my workshop, but I know that sooner or later I will be separated from them. This is the truth. My sculptures are my children, a piece of my soul. I always start with some sketches on paper, so what you actually see is never done randomly. There is always some sort of structure behind it. Keeping a discipline is very important, otherwise you won't get what you expect.
Είναι πολύ αυστηρό να το κρατήσεις για να σου πει το.
My inspiration started during my studies, when I began to work with letters and words. Every word hides a feeling, a problem. It has something to say. So I began writing words in marble. The point is not to easily read what is written, but to feel what the material expresses. It is important that people create their own opinion while looking at my art.
Και τον αφήνω να σχηματίσει τη δικιά του γνώμη και να προβληματιστεί, εάν προβληματιστεί με αυτό που λέει.
Quite often you have to think and to spend some time alone with your thoughts. You have to think how to do certain things. I'm not talking about the technical details, but how to express your feelings. For me, this is the way it works. I think and then I begin drawing.
Σκέφτομαι, κάποια στιγμή θα σχεδιάσω.
There are periods in your life that you feel good and others that you feel sad. However, if there is a strong foundation, you will not be affected by that. I might stop working for 2 months when I do not have the mental strength. This is the only thing that can hold me back. I do not believe that inspiration is something that comes or goes away. Inspiration exists. However, I can say that there is a gap when I finish each of my creations. This is maybe due to the fact that I have given all my best to create the masterpiece and I need a break. I need to take some breaths before I continue. So there is a period with a straight line when I do nothing. After, I rest for a while and I begin again and again.
In 2012, inspired by the poetic collection of Grigoris Maniadakis, Dimitris presented his exhibition Lightwell, where 10 out of the 20 poems of the homonym collection were transformed into a three-dimensional poem of marble. The words were made from marble, while their base was made from wood. He kept this layout because he wanted to show the everyday life in his workshop.
I believe that any person who buys a piece of art does not buy it because he simply likes it, but because he feels that this piece inspires and represents him. This is very important. Art is not just to show off. Through a piece of art, you project your feelings and it echoes back to you.
Dimitri, after some thought, you told us that this is your favorite work.
Well, yes, this work is called Nimi. It's one of my favorites and I wouldn't want to give it away. It carries the idea of memories, what we carry inside us, our life experiences. I'm emotionally attached to it because of that, and perhaps this is the reason why I wouldn't give it away.
Τόσο μεγάλη σύνδεση το πάνω. Όταν βλέπω τα εισιτήρια,
Here you can see a sketch of it as I pictured it in my mind before I went to the actual sculpting. It is a work that plays with light, shadow and layers, but only in a conceptual form. The final work always differs from the drawing since the material itself offers many more things and solutions.
Το σχέδιο είναι από το γλυπτό της γυναίκας, κάθε γυναίκα πάνω. Και πάμε στην κλίνη, και ένα πιο τελικό σχέδιο, βλέπω πώς σκιά και τα επίπεδα πώς μπορούν να παίξουν πάνω στο υλικό. Βέβαια, η βάση είναι ίδια. Όταν μεταφέρεις ένα έργο από το σχέδιό του στο υλικό του, πάντα υπάρχουν αλλαγές. Γιατί το υλικό...
It is better to work in light, since the light, especially the light of Attica, is unique. It can help you see other aspects of the work as well. The structure and the idea remain the same, but light offers many more things.
Αλλά η βάση του είναι αυτή. Είναι το μη, το ήτα, το μη και το ήτα. Γίνεται μια σύνδεση στα γράμματα. Τα σχέδια είναι βασικά πράγματα. Τα έχω πάντα μαζί μου όταν φτιάχνω κάτι. Μέχρι το τέλος.
This is a woman. I cannot tell you what she is doing and why. It depends on the inner world of someone. Personally, the woman does not provoke me. On the contrary, she soothes me. I have a very good relationship with my wife, and this is why I gave her a calm expression and form. It also describes what it means to live together with someone, which is one of the most challenging aspects of our lives.
Dimitris has attended many symposiums of sculpture around the world. His works can be found in various cities of Greece and abroad. He has worked in places like Aswan of Egypt, where he learned how to work on granite by local craftsmen. We can also find work of Dimitris at the Library of Alexandria and in Dubai. The latter gave him the first prize in the International Sculpture Symposium. Teaching is another part of Dimitris' life. Myrto is one of his talented students who visits his workshop every 2 weeks. They work together using clay. They are currently working on a woman's figure where Dimitris helps Myrto conceptualize her idea and form it into its final shape. As Dimitris said, working with students like Myrto is always a give-and-take relationship. She helps him with his inspiration, but she draws inspiration from him too. This is an amazing thing which Dimitris considers to be characteristic of children. One of the most important things is to remember that the teacher must be present to help the student but should not overshadow his personality. Each person has a unique identity which he expresses through his art, and the teacher must be there to assist but not intervene.
Dimitri, as a last question, we would like you to describe us how you see yourself in 5 to 10 years' time as far as art is concerned. Is there anything else you want to do? Do you have any specific plans?
Well, I hope to be among my creations always, and that my art will be recognized. I want my creations to be meaningful to people, to invoke feelings, thoughts, or offer solutions. This is important for me. I don't care if I become a famous artist. This is not the issue. The most important thing for me is that in 10 years' time, I will still be doing art.
So this is a passion for you, right?
Actually, yes, and we do not know how things will come in life. Maybe I won't be able to do anything more. Therefore, the best wish for me is to be among my creations, and why not create new ones.
Οπότε, η καλύτερη ευχή είναι να συνεχίσει να είναι στα έργα μου και με καινούργια έργα.
Και εμείς το ευχόμαστε.
κόσμο δεν σε έκανα για σένα εδώ. Χάδρια και εικόνες πάνω από κανόνες τόνοι τρέλας στο μυαλό. Έχοντας της αγάπης σου τη σκιά κυνηγάω. Έφυγες κι εγώ τώρα πια πουθενά δεν κολλάω. Τρέχοντας